Today we're chatting with Misty M about her brand new book, A Warrior's Heart. Thank you for taking the time, Misty, to tell us a bit about the book today.
It's exciting to be with you guys. I'm really looking forward to releasing this book into the world. So thank you.
This book takes place in Canada, in what is now known as Alberta. So, what led you to write a book located in sort of the Athabasca area of Alberta?
I have always been a Rocky Mountain fan. And I, as we traveled in the Montana area in the US, and then occasionally crept up into Canada, I was just amazed at how the mountains get so much prettier and just absolutely gorgeous and vast. And they just stretch wider and taller and more majestic the farther north you go. So I quickly became a Canadian Rockies fan.
All right.
Um, and the Athabascan area just fit for the setting where I needed it to be close enough to forts, but not very close. Still very wilderness.
This takes place in the early 1800s. Tell us a bit about your main character. She is a defender of her people,
Yes,
and they have a French heritage to them.
they do. So they live in a secret village of caves. So caves set in the Canadian Rockies there. Um, they've lived there for about 100 years. Their ancestors traveled west from the Montreal area and just kept going until they found these huge caverns inside the mountains, and decided they could make a pretty neat home here. So they've been hidden. They've been cut off from the outside world. They traded with a couple Dene native villages, but beyond that, they had no connection with the outside world at all. So Brielle is my heroine in the book. She has worked hard to become the chief provider and defender. So because they're so remote, there's not much defending needed. Much of it's providing until the hero stumbles upon their little hidden village. And he's actually from the US. He's been sent north to find a role that scientists have identified will help basically create an atomic bomb and help in the War of 1812. But he found a lot more than he expected to find there. So it was really neat seeing how those two connected.
And this is the character of Evan, who crosses the border, and he's looking for this uranium-rich mineral, and
Yes.
he gets captured. Um,
Yes, he does. That opening scene in the book, the village of Laurent has created this wall out of the native stone to where you can't even tell it's a wall. You think it's part of a mountain unless you stumble upon the opening, which Evan does. And Brielle happens to be watching. She's that defender, and she shoots him with an arrow. So that's their meet. Um,
Now, this is going to be part one of a trilogy. Will
yes.
all of the stories take place with the same people in the same area then?
All of the stories take place right around Laurent. I'm actually just starting to write book 3 in the series. And it's the first book where they're finally starting to have some communication and some trading with some of the outside forts. It was really neat to research the different trading companies and the forts that were established at different times. I love history, but I've really fallen in love with Canadian history. I can't wait to do another tour there next summer and tour some of these old forts. But anyway, so in this book 3, they're venturing a little bit away from Laurent, but still staying in those Canadian Rockies. And wintertime tends to be another feature of my settings that I love to write, which you guys know better than anybody. Winter in the Canadian Rockies can be vicious.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Misty, thank you so much for telling us about A Warrior's Heart, which is releasing this early fall, and wish you all the success with this book.
Thank you. I can't wait for readers to try it out and to read the rest of the books in the series as well.